Okay, guys, so I want to talk about another subject today. I made another audio on my other channel. It's called Divine Beingness, and not so much as a serious topic as the topics I bring on this channel. This channel is more serious topics, more dealing with me personally. And so this channel is more of a personal channel. My other one called Divine Beingness, it's not as personal, and sometimes I just talk about random topics. And so I did a little audio about a situation I was going through, and I'm taking care of that, but I want to just take a mental break off of constantly focusing on, things going on, in my life, because I'm right now, I'm doing what I can to take care of the situation, right? I'm doing what I can to take care of the situation. So I don't want to just perseverate on particular, excuse me if I'm sniffing, you guys. Sorry about that. A little bit of allergy here. So excuse me about that, the sniffing stuff. But I don't want to perseverate on, certain things that could be going on, because I feel like it can cause anxiety, and it can cause me to just it can cause extra problems. It can cause extra problems. It can cause like a domino effect of extra things that could be happening. Because then you're going to attract other similar type of situations, bringing in that kind of vibration. Okay. And so I just feel like talking about something else different every now and then, just to kind of take my mind off of focusing on myself 24/7. Okay. Sorry about that. That was a long one. So let me get to what I'm talking about. So why darkness is taking over. Darkness is taking over. I was listening to a young lady, and I like to listen to her because she said the same thing that I've been feeling for the longest, because I'm an empath, and she's definitely, she said that of course, she talked about the Hollywood, the celebrities. 85 to 90% of them are dark souls. They're dark, and maybe 10% are light. And even in the world, you got about 85 to 90% of people who are dark, with maybe 10 to 15% of people who are light. So darkness is definitely about to it's about to just completely 100% take over. I want to talk about how this can be prevented, because people like to blame the devil, especially in religion. Certain religions. I'm not going to say religion. It's all kinds of religions. But in a particular type of religion, people just want to blame this on the devil. It's the devil. It says in the Bible that this is the prince of this world is the devil. And, God is going to come back, or Jesus is going to come back, split the clouds open, and come and rescue his people. God is going to rescue the people who follow Jesus. This is just an example, okay? I'm not going to criticize anybody's beliefs, okay? Because to be honest with you, in different cultures, people believe in different deities. And if they feel like those deities are helping them, then they have every right to believe in them, okay? This is what I want to say, though, about the darkness, because it has nothing to do with Jesus Christ, and it has nothing to do with talking about God or the Bible. I want to talk about how the reason why so much darkness is increasing is really on humanity. It's really humanity's fault that darkness has increased the way it is. And it's not the devil. It's not about Jesus. It has nothing to do with Jesus coming back. I don't believe that story anyway. But that's because it's not because I feel like it's something that doesn't make sense. It's because I've gotten into more learning. I've been more enlightened when it comes to decoding the Bible. So me saying I don't believe the Jesus that people believe is going to come back and part the clouds, I don't believe it in the way that other people believe it. Now, there is going to be a figure like that that's going to come, but it's not going to be what people think it is. And that's why I say I don't believe that the way that people interpreted that story, Because I'm not going to just say I don't believe the Bible. I'm going to say the way that people interpreted that story. I don't believe it, because I've learned more into decoding about what these things really mean. And it's not what a lot of these folks that go to church a lot, it's not what they think it is. Okay. But I don't want to get into that, because this is not about telling people what to believe, because that's nobody's business. Okay. If you want to believe pigs fly and it's good luck to see a pig fly across the sky, that's your business. If it's bringing you good luck and you see it, that's your business. But I want to talk about why so much darkness in the world is really on humanity, and it's not on the devil, and it's not on God. It's on humanity. Why? Because humanity had a choice. Okay, just think about even 30 to 40 years ago. Think about the time before you were born. You know, it wasn't as much darkness in the world, if you would notice that. It wasn't as much darkness in the world. It was a lot of things going on. It was a lot of hate. It was a lot of separation. But it wasn't as bad as it's getting now, okay? It wasn't as bad as it's getting now. For a certain group of people, though, it was bad, okay? But I want to talk about how humanity really there was a time when there was duality, okay? It really is not too much duality happening right now. Darkness is about to just take over, okay? Really, duality is just not about to exist. All right? And I don't want duality to exist in my world either, okay? That's why I work so hard on just balancing and just trying to work on being centered, because I don't want all this duality mess either. But I want to end duality on a different spectrum, and not into the darkness, okay? Because the darkness is not a fit for me. It doesn't work for me, so I don't want to be where it doesn't fit. Humanity could have held more people accountable, okay? Humanity could have held more people accountable, okay? Let's just start with the churches, since I was talking about, the churches. Let's just start with that. A lot of these church members, a lot of people who call themselves Christians, okay, they don't like to hold their leaders accountable, right? So a lot of these church people will want to judge other people who are out in the world. They want to condemn other people to hell who did not believe in the God they believed in. So they went outside this church. They went outside their congregation, and they condemned other people to hell that had nothing to do with their congregation. Outside people. Now, like I said, I'm not a Christian. I don't go to church. But one thing I do, I said before, that when I was going to church, I read the Bible front to back. Paul specifically says that do not judge people outside the church. You judge people that's inside the church, but you do not judge people outside the church. Let that be for God to do. Now, that's what Paul said. That doesn't mean I'm into following all of that stuff, because I really don't get into trying to judge anybody, to be honest with you. I judge according to what's best for me. If somebody crosses me, that's when I become the judge. So I judge according to what's best for me. I just don't judge people just randomly like that based on whatever they believe in or whatever lifestyle they have. That I don't do. If it ain't got nothing to do with me, I shouldn't care about it, okay? But, so we can start with that. Because if people followed the Bible, and I'm talking about there's more Christians in the world than just black people, okay? It's a lot of Christians in the world. Okay, so I'm not just picking on a certain color of people. But because I know black people tend to be very, very religious, okay? But it's more people in the world that are Christians, and if they really, really followed it, talking about the salt of the world. When I think about that term, salt of the world, it can sound like you're saying the light of the world. But salt, just what I've seen it esoterically, salt repels evil. So if you're considering yourself the salt of the world, and most of the people who call themselves Christians are the real salt, Christianity really, really, it was big. So most of the people who wanted to call themselves that, and they were the real salt of the world, they could have repelled a lot of evil, and it wouldn't be so much darkness. It wouldn't be as much darkness as it is, okay? But Christians, this is just one example. I'm going to get into other ones too, so I don't want to just pick on Christians. Because I don't have a problem with Christianity. Well, the problem I have with Christianity is a lot of Christians they avoid judging what's happening in their own church and want to go to other people that they don't even know and tell them how to live their life. They will let the pastor sleep around with a bunch of different women, and then they'll just turn around and say, pray for him. Pray for him. See, they're not holding people accountable. They don't hold their leaders accountable. And so what happens when you don't hold your leaders accountable? Well, then you allow more darkness to increase. This is the problem with being so forgiving when folks continue in their behavior. I'm not saying just one or two offenses because you were down. I'm talking about you continue and you continue and you continue and you continue. That's not something that needs forgiveness. That's something that needs to be checked. Okay, and a lot of times religious folks did not want to check the leaders of their church, and they allow the darkness to spread, and darkness is definitely taking over the Christian churches. Definitely. Okay, now I want to get into other things about darkness. I'm gonna make this another audio, that part of the audio. But how, people just like to make excuses. Let's say humanity, like folks can see things that's happening to children, right? You can see children are being trafficked. You can see a lot of women are being raped. You can see a lot of things are happening. Let's start with the crimes. Let's go with the crimes in urban neighborhoods. Let me talk about that part, because I was talking about the Christian church, but it's more than them. I really got on the Christians because they were supposed to be, if they really followed it, they were supposed to be the salt. And as far as I know about salt repairs, salt repels negative energy, okay? And with so many people that call themselves Christians, if they were actual salt, it couldn't be as much evil. Darkness couldn't stand it, okay? So that is, a lot of people were fake, okay? And the real Christians, the people who were actually real hardcore, and when I say hardcore, they really tried to live that life, probably don't even like the church no more, because the darkness has taken over. Okay, so now I want to talk about how people can see things happening to children, and I'm going to talk about urban neighborhoods right now. So the crime is ridiculously high in certain urban neighborhoods, right? Crime is ridiculously high. And these urban neighborhoods have this no snitch type of thing going on, where you can have these bangers that can kill innocent children, whether it's by mistake or whether it's on purpose. You get these bangers that go and they kill innocent children. And then you got grown folks in the neighborhoods, mothers, fathers, whoever it is, pastors in the neighborhood that might know something about these bangers that kill these innocent children. But because they have this no snitch thing going on in the neighborhoods, they have allowed darkness to take over. They have allowed darkness to take over. Because of their no snitch type of policy in these urban neighborhoods, you have more innocent people that suffer because of this no snitching. Because when you really talk about no snitching, and you get these people that continue to kill in the neighborhoods, and they commit so many crimes in the neighborhoods, and they hurt so many people, and then you just don't want to snitch on them, and they continue to get away with their crimes, you allow darkness to increase. So this has not a darn thing to do with no Jesus Christ. This has not a darn thing to do with Allah. This has not a darn thing to do with Yahushua HaMashiach, if you want to believe in Black Jesus. Okay? This has nothing to do with the devil, the prince of this world. You just want to blame it on some devil with big horns, when the devil is in people. The devil has been people. The devil is the duality. The devil is that dark shadow side, and that side is just really, really, really taking over. It's really taking over. That's the devil. God was the more lighter aspect. Well, God could have been the same. God is both. To be honest with you, God is God. The God is the light, and God is the dark. It's still God. You got the little God, and you got the big God. However you want to see it. Now, so that's that part. And you see a lot of children being born without stable families. You have a lot of leaders. You have a lot of grown people. You have a lot of elderly people who see this. And this is in urban communities again. And so you have few people that try to come out to talk about why it's not healthy to continue to have so many children without securing a stable household, securing some kind of stable household for the child. People have even put out books for these type of neighborhoods to stop, having so many children without, marriage or having some kind of stable family. And the people who try to put out the message that a lot of these young ladies should not be getting pregnant at teenage years, they get attacked. They get attacked just for saying that a lot of ladies should not get pregnant when they're teenagers. They get attacked for saying that, the 77 or 80% out of wedlock birth rates is just really, really hurting the urban communities. They get viciously attacked, and they're told that they're being judgmental. Okay, but what happens though? Now this is where I am going to get on vibration, and it's not because I'm trying to be all preachy and stuff. But a lot of these ladies are very low vibrational because their self-worth is very low. They've been in communities all their life where people have extreme poverty type of mindsets, okay, and is completely infused with self-hatred. Okay, so this is what a lot of these ladies that keep having these children like that, this is what they know, this is what they come from. So the kind of babies they're going to give birth to are going to be babies that come from a lower dimension. They're going to be souls or spirits or whatever that come from lower dimensions, like the second dimension. A lot of urban brown women are giving birth to entities that come from the second dimension. And I'm just going to make it even more clear. It's like lower 3 dimension and second dimension. Let me make myself more clear. A lot of these urban women are giving birth to demons. A lot of these urban women, brown women, are giving birth to demons. Okay? So, but there goes that child that they're saying that says every child is a blessing. Every child is a blessing. And no, it's not always a blessing when you are very low vibrational. You're full of self-hatred. And then you don't even want the child, and the father's not going to be around, so it's causing depression because you have to be in the delivery room by yourself because the father doesn't want to be present. Okay, so immediately that child feels rejection, and that child feels the depression and the emotional instability that comes from that mother, and then instantly the child feels that rejection because the father don't want to be there. So you already immediately you're giving birth to a very, very, very low vibrational child. Okay. So that right there causes more darkness to increase in the world. And then they continue to bring these children into these high-risk areas where they're not cultivated. And these children get older, and then they go terrorize other children to be like them. That has allowed, this is going to be a long audio, sorry. That has allowed more darkness to increase in the world. It's not the devil that people want to believe in. Okay, it's not some random being that's going. It's the decisions that people have made. This is not me being judgmental. This is about me being a realist and saying what it is, and how humanity has allowed darkness to take over. Not the devil, and not Jesus Christ, and not Allah, not the Satanists, and not the whoever, not the Hinduism, and all the other stuff. You understand what I'm saying? So It's humanity. It's humanity that has allowed it. Let's talk about this racism. And I'm not about to get on all the political stuff. I really not interested in the conversation about racism. I want to talk about how that has contributed to increasing more darkness in the world. I'm not interested in politics because I don't do well with politics. I'll suck at politics. I'm not good at it, period. But racism has caused a lot of darkness. Racism has allowed a lot of darkness to take over the world. A lot of the separatism has caused a lot of darkness to take over the world. Discriminated against somebody for a particular complexion or a particular color has allowed people to stay more in their ego selves and not accepting people based on character, but judging them based on the color of their skin, and also based on the race as well, because even with the color of the skin, you have certain ethnicities that's not discriminated against as bad as others. So it's really about a type of race that is a part of a certain hierarchy. Okay? That's just what I want to say on that. So that right there has allowed more evil and more darkness to take over the world. Okay? Not caring about child trafficking, not really. I'm going to tell you why more darkness is taking over the world. Because the women are being treated horribly around the world. Okay, the women are being treated horribly around the world. And when the woman is hurt, when you are hurting the mother, when the planet is a feminine planet, is Mother Earth, and the women around the world are in pain and they're hurting and they are traumatized and wounded, then you cannot have a healthy planet. That allows more darkness to increase. Okay? That allows more darkness to increase. Okay? But humanity had a choice to choose. Humanity had a choice. People can talk about the devil all they want to, but humanity had a choice. There was a lot of people who were more of the light. There were a lot of people who were more of the light that turned dark so they can protect themselves. And I'm not going to judge them for it if they choose to be in this world. But I'm just saying that there was a lot of people who were of the light that has turned completely dark because they saw it was the best way for them to survive. They saw it was the best way for them to make money. They saw that for them to hustle and get to where they need to be, they couldn't be completely honest. It was a young lady from Argentina. She's in her 20s. And she came here. She's probably been here a few months now. But when she first came here, she peeped out the game in the United States real quick. She said, if you want a job here, if you really want a job here, just lie. Just lie. And I'm going to tell you something. That is the truth, especially in the United States. Now, it could be around the world, but especially in most places in the United States. You get further with lying than you can with telling the truth. A lot of these people that come in from these foreign nations know this about the United States, that you get further with lying than you do with telling the truth. That lets you know that there's more darkness in the world than there is light, when you can get further with lying than you can telling the truth. You always have to be a part of somebody's clique, okay, in order to be treated a certain way. If you're by yourself and a group of people want to just gang up on you, even though you're right and they could be wrong, meaning that you're trying to do what you call the right thing, and these people are just completely unfair, right? But they still seem to win because you might be by yourself and they have a lot of people on their side. That's darkness. That's more darkness taking over. Because if the world was just balanced and fair, it shouldn't matter if a bunch of people ganged up on you and you by yourself. You should win regardless. But the problem is, it's a lot of darkness in the world. Okay? But I'm going to end there because I can say more. I can say things about people joining these organizations and getting into dark practices to get money. It's not just celebrities doing it. It's people, average people with average families. They get into these dark practices so they can get money, and they choose certain members of their family to sacrifice. I've heard those real stories. People are into practicing a lot of darkness. And so it gets to a point where humanity has caused so much darkness to increase in the world. And it's not just Satan. Okay? It's not just one little particular being. Okay? Anyway, that'll be it. And you guys just let me know what your opinions are, and I'll talk to you soon.